Good evening, everybody.
Woohoo!
This is Brian Piotr. I'm your host of Liberty Tonight, and I'm very excited for you. Guess what, guys? I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and there was quite a crazy event that happened yesterday. So let me show it to you. Okay.
Oh shit! Oh my
I'll let this go on replay, but there was a fully loaded UPS airliner headed towards Hawaii, taking off from the UPS World Hub, which is the Louisville Airport, 25 minutes from my house, full of gas and packages, and it looks like one engine was having a problem, and I don't know the full story of why it crashed, but it completely crashed. Like, what a crazy! It crashed into a warehouse area, so this guy's got his truck. He's just sitting there to be loaded or unloaded or whatever. Oh my gosh, what a crazy dash cam! And they have lots of people. I don't think that anyone knows the number of people have died. A couple, handful at least. But I'm okay. Everyone I know is okay. Uh, what a crazy fireball. Shut down the airport for a day. And man, yeah, national news. But anyways, let me know if you guys can hear me. This is my brand new computer. I'm speaking with my grown-up voice. Check the chat over here on rumble.com/liberty tonight. If you're going to come here and join the chat, that's where I'm going to interact with you this evening. And I'm still getting used to the setup. I've got everything set up over here. We got the applause. We got all the sound effects. I went to go get ready for the show last week this time, and my laptop completely died. It's like I need to hold a funeral for it. Some hardware thing is completely broken. So I got a new desktop and finally gonna have some high definition video. You can see, let me know. Do I have any acne in there? Any pores? Let me know how it looks on your stream where you're at tonight. But anyways, you can tell by my backdrop that New York City has fallen. We knew because of the betting markets for weeks that Mamdani was going to win, that he was uh, uh, communism was coming. We always knew. It's really funny when the sitting Republican president is a Republican and he tells everyone to go vote for the other Democrat because the existing Republican has no chance. You realize that this is what has always been done to libertarians, which I'm a registered Republican, but libertarians always have heard for decades that you help the Democrat win, drop out of the race. I know that Republican's not as good, but you got to drop out so that we can have something slightly less bad have a chance at winning. That has been the argument Republicans have yelled at libertarians for decades. And in this case, the head of the Republican Party, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, is yelling at the Republican to get out because the other Democrat is better than the communist. And that's how bad the situation is in New York City. New York City is so full of immigrants willing to vote for their own cause, which is give us free crap, that communism, pure socialism with government grocery stores is coming to New York City. Now, I do have some good news. I know a little bit about New York City because I read The Path to Power by Robert Caro, which is a biography of Robert Moses, who never ran for anything and won any elections. And yet he was the most powerful man in New York City for decades. He held a, a handful of different powerful hats at all times, appointments to many things all at once. He was the head of the tri-state borough that collected all the fees for all the bridges. He ran the parks department. He ran New York City. And what Mamdani is going to learn is that a pretty face cannot win against the bureaucracy. So I honestly feel like he's not going to get a fraction of what he wants done, but it's still a bad look to have a communist mayor. I think that the bureaucracy and crappy government is going to, under its own momentum, skate by, and that Mamdani will not be able to seriously change the city as much as he wants. But everything that he is able to, every little bit he's allowed to influence, it's going to be towards a hellscape, towards a terrible, terrible place. Okay, let me find. Oh, reminders. Remember, the 5th of November. Today's the day, guys. Today's the day that the British celebrate a terrorist plot to blow up Parliament. And it is the most ironic holiday celebrated anywhere on Earth right now. I can't tell you a more ironic holiday ever celebrated by any people ever. It's like a bunch of slaves celebrating freedom when they're slaves. I can't tell you what, but it's a great movie. I celebrate Guy Fawkes Day too, and I hope that the British will use this day to stand up and actually oppose tyranny and fight their government. So I'm sorry, Britain, that you live in such a terrible place. This clip is right there. Okay. Here's a picture of Alex Soros hugging Mamdani. This guy has bought and sold politicians just like his dad has. Congratulations, Alex. You've won the city of New York City. And I hope that you can take him out on a nice date. Maybe a high-rise, beautiful dinner overlooking the Hudson, knowing that you're about to throw some bodies in it. Oh, Alex. Please don't follow in your father's footsteps. Please use this opportunity in life to turn over a new leaf and tell us where the bodies are buried that your dad buried. And stop funding these AGs and DAs that hate people. In other news, before we keep going on Mamdani, the mayor of Minneapolis, the incumbent Democrat, beat the Somali, which is surprising because outside of Somalia, apparently Minnesota is the next most Somali place on earth. And they didn't make it this time. They'll have to wait till next time. Let me check the chat over on rumble.com. Welcome everyone. Evan Rowan is gifted a membership by Steelbringer. Welcome Steelbringer. I appreciate you. Very glad to have you here. You're a blessing and you're a gift to the For Liberty Network. Everyone who wants to talk to me and talk to us all week long, everybody in the group, we go to forlibertynetwork.com. That'll take you to a Discord link, which is a very active Discord with lots of different channels, including one for Liberty Tonight. And if you're listening to this, tell me, give me comments on sound quality and sound levels. Everything's been rebalanced. Everything's new. I'll listen to this show after it's done to find out if it's still up to par. But comments while I go are definitely appreciated. Okay, let's listen to our new mayor.
Safer. The way that prisons are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. The instinct is to just take that person, the source of that harm, the source of that issue, and then just throw them away. Put them in a cage and throw away the key. And that doesn't address the reason why that harm was created in the first place.
Yeah,
a lot of times, people who create trauma for others are those who themselves went through trauma earlier in their own lives. Right. And I bring all of this up to say that, you know, again, like when we talk about policing, I don't think the system actually makes us safer. I think what it does is it just removes problems out of view.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you end up with this programming, guys, but here's the long and short of reality. You can live disconnected from reality up to a limit, but there's real world, there's real truth. And the truth is that people who kill people will probably do it again, even if they had trauma in their childhood. And even if you send them to counseling, they still killed somebody. And there's a separate thing to deal with, which is the justice of dealing with the crime. So the victim who's dead deserves retribution, be paid out by hanging the murderer. And if we are all just too wussy to do that, we're all too feminized, when we've all taken too many classes in our undergrad about psychology to do that anymore, we're just too weak, then at very least we should put them in a cage with other murderers for the rest of their life. And that's the least that we could do for the victim. And there's a reason why the police chief, who happened to be Jewish, resigned today. And that is because this guy is going to take New York City to hell if he can. And there's no career advancement if you're in the anything to do with justice at this point, unless you are a woke lawyer who wants to be a judge or an attorney general, whatever they call those lower levels in New York City. Unless you want to do that, you have no career advancement at this point, guys. So this guy's gonna be nothing but bad news, and it's just the first. And honestly, it's decades later than it's expected, because he's not even that capable or charismatic or able to raise money or campaign effectively. If there had been somebody before who was actually in a network and good at campaigning and good at politics and good at raising money, they could have done this 10 years ago. So the fact that it's been delayed has only just been, it's an inevitability that New York City is not America anymore. The majority of New York City is immigrants, and they aren't American by definition. They are New York Cityers. They own New York City now, but America's territorial map does not include the town. It is just it's kind of like how Hong Kong is part of China. Similar connection now. They speak a different language, but they're under the purview of the U.S. military. That the rules are more or less under the federal government, but they're their own thing, as long as we let them. And we, as a national government, can at any time send in the troops and go fix all this and take away the socialism. Socialism, Karl Marx, is responsible for more deaths than any other set of ideas in all of history by hundreds of millions. And somehow, this still happens.
Who've been out during.
Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi, Rabbi. Hi.
We're among the thousands of Jewish New Yorkers who've been out door knocking and phone banking to elect Zohran Mamdani.
We're also rabbis.
We know Zohran will fight to make our city affordable and safe for our families.
And for our neighbors of all faiths and backgrounds.
As New Yorkers, we're also just people who live here, who don't want to get priced out of this incredible city that we call home.
We know fellow Jews want to be able to afford housing, transportation, and childcare for their families too.
As Jews, as rabbis, as New Yorkers, we believe that all people deserve to thrive. Zohran agrees.
But let's get real. This isn't only about belief, it's about action. So let's build a flourishing city.
Together, let's elect Zohran. Zohran!
That was the most insane thing I have ever seen. Oh my gosh. on so many levels. The Russia Today logo in the top right. Trans Jews. Hypocrisy number one. Supporting a Muslim. Who, if he got Sharia law, would take care of them for 2 reasons. They're like 2 strikes of the 3 strikes rule dead. They're crazy people. Yeah, communists are just the worst, guys. They want something for nothing. And look, there's some truth that they're missing. And I don't know if we can reach them once you've been programmed to that level. You know, you've cut a piece off of your body. You're pretending you're the opposite sex, and you're voting for a system that has killed hundreds of millions of people. You can't just set the prices to free and assign everyone else to work. It just doesn't work. Communist China has only stayed in power by abandoning communism. And even then, to the extent that they still have it, causes nothing but suffering. There are still people in cages and being tortured over in China. So it's not like they got completely free of communism. They just let in enough capitalism to not fall apart on their own. But, guys, come to rumble.com. Tell me in the chat, what do you think that is? What's got no sound? Oh, Evan, can't kill you, man. This sucks. Don't joke with me. My heart can't handle it. Tell me you've been able to hear sound this whole time. I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna watch my OBS and make sure that it says I'm moving. Okay. Marxism intensifies. I feel like there's I like this good level song. Background music. Anyways, on national level, a lot of conversation has been around how this was a huge win for the Democrats to win New Jersey, Virginia, New York City. Congratulations, guys. In what world were Republicans gonna win those states anyways, or cities? It's the blue states had continued to be blue. Okay, such is life. This is kind of expected. I think it's already just a major, just a circus. So if I have to take what I saw tonight and forecast to you guys what's going to happen in 2026, here's my Nostradamus forecast. Blue cities continue to be blue, unpleasant places where Democrats, who are more and more going to be immigrants and Muslims, because they are more organized. On the left, more organized than the alternative parts of the left. They will take over the cities, all of them, from Chicago, Atlanta, all the way down to Jacksonville, all the way to the smallest city that is Blue City, before you move over to red. And they will fight ICE, and they will fight with National Guard troops that are sent in on a city-by-city level. But if you live outside of the cities, your life will not change, and it will not be any different. And it will mostly just be a giant distraction from the fact that the Republicans who own the Senate and the House and the White House are doing nothing. They're accomplishing nothing. They're saying that they need 60 votes to do anything. while there are appointments left vacant, which we've done many on 51 votes for the last 8 years. There, the Epstein files vote being held off. Everybody's still adjourned, and the government shut down, and everything shut down because you don't have the balls to do your job, Republicans. I have a full list of things that I would love for you to do. With 51 votes, pass election integrity laws that require all 50 states to print their ballots and have election day be one day. It's not election month, it's election day. This election day, like it always was, will have people vote on paper, and then the paper will be counted by people, and those people will report the results. We won't throw away anyone's votes so that we can have an audit trail for years until everything has been officially executed and assessed and reviewed as desired to make sure that we have no fraud. And in order to vote, you will need a government-issued ID, a passport or a driver's license. If we do this first step, Republicans, you will cement your power in DC, and you will have the 60 votes in the Senate that you've always wanted. You might get more. You might get to 65, because even in places where Democrats run the cities, they have to get someone to show up and vote. And if you're a nobody, it's one thing to knock on your Section 8 apartment complex and say, hey, fill out this ballot right now and give it to me. And I may or may not give you money, and no one would ever maybe even know about it. Like all of that type of fraud, completely gone. You have to go wait in line and vote with an ID. So if you don't really care about the results, you don't show. It's rainy one day and you're not dedicated to this country, you don't show. Part 2. Ballots are in English. Anybody who can't speak, read, or write English, it's just not a problem. Perfect solution for lots of parts of this problem and issues that are associated with it. Part 3, we remove the illegals. Give President Trump the ability to move into Democrat cities and states. Come up with legislation that supports that. Everything that might be a legal hurdle, do that. Part 4, impeach judges. You don't need to impeach very many to get to all of them. Be the first federal judge removed in 250 years. And voila. Everybody else is going to pay attention. You do that with 51 votes. Change the Senate rules if you need to change the Senate rules. Change the Constitution if we need to change the Constitution. Set up constitutional amendments and force states to vote on them if we run into issues. Follow the Constitution at all times. Do not do anything dictatorial. But at the same time, do not say that you have Senate rules preventing you from doing things when you can change the Senate rules with 51 votes. That's not the nuclear option. That's the rules that you decide for your own chamber. That's just being ridiculous, you stupid senators. Okay, so you've passed election integrity laws. And you've supported Trump removing the illegals. Next, pay for and pass a new census. Order it now. Order people to count citizens only and fund the entire census and get it started today and have it completed by 2026. I would love to go further and do more constrictive things to ensure that we have voter integrity. But some of those things might need constitutional amendments and/or I would like it if you could take California and make it a territory and remove it from statehood until it's been reconstructed. There's precedent to do this. After the Civil War, we did this to all of the southern states. And I believe there's plenty of things that California has done that has put everybody else's electoral rights at risk. When they have allowed illegals to vote, to register to vote by mail without providing a social security number, ID, or anything, you simply go online and say, I would like to register to vote by mail, and then the ballot shows up without any details. We have obviously had congressional representation and electoral college allocations misallocated by fraud, and the governor there is complicit. And so I believe that if you had a backbone, Republicans, that you would do reconstruction in California. Go redo the government, redo the apportionment, requalify citizens to vote, have them sign a new oath and qualify them to speak English, and then have a new election. And I believe that that would ultimately be something that fixed and improved this country, but you just don't have the political will to do it. And I believe that everyone in Congress is incredibly sensitive to the next election and incredibly sensitive to political will. But if you act in the right way for the sake of the people, then one, if you lose your office, so be it. You did the right thing. This is what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to go to galas and dinners for the Heritage Foundation and all the stupid crap that you do in DC. It would be better for you to lose your office and to save this country. But I don't think that is even the most likely outcome. If you were strong and together, you could actually fix this country. And the result in the next election is that you would win. Because the electorate would be completely changed. And yeah, public opinion will go a million different directions, but you've already seen like the news cycle, such as Charlie Kirk's death, it lasted an incredibly short time. So do it all at once, do it all quickly, and you'll get away with it. And you'll save this country. You'll give yourself the power. Now from there, there's a lot of people that I would like to get rid of in the Republican Party. We have to fight with people like Lindsey Graham for things that he wants because we have such a slim majority. Give yourself 70 seats in the Senate and then go hardcore about primarying and ignoring the 10 neocons that ruin everything. The slimiest people there, you can get rid of. Overcoming the slimy crap margin, and I mean, everybody's a shade of terrible in the Senate and the House. But overcoming that completely and then saying what remains is good enough to do things, if we can just get to, I don't know, like my whole pitch here is that you should have the balls to do things, and there's people preventing us from doing that. Like there's like a handful of people that are just literally feminized in the back pocket of whoever gives them whoever their donors are. And so basically DC's not going to do anything. Like I'm not under any auspice that DC's going to actually do anything. I'm just telling you, this is what you should do. You should cement your power forever, and it's in your interest to make yourself powerful. Here's how you do it. You fix elections. And yeah, that's basically the long and short of the most important things to do. That's number one, because if we don't fix that, we lose the country forever to communists. Communists that are already there. The mayor of New York City becomes the governor of New York, runs for president, or runs for Senate and then president. Mamdani is 1 or 2 elections away from running for president. And an inevitability is that someone like him ends up as a candidate. Someone who's the right shade of brown and says the right things and is ultimately going to be elected if we don't do anything to stop it. So I encourage you, Republicans that do nothing in DC, get off your butts and go fix the elections. It's not until you do that that we can even move on to fixing things like the debt. None of you are. No one in DC is interested in fixing the debt. You're just going to print money and then complain about inflation, and that's the worst. Here's a video of New York City in 2050.
It is camel milk tea.
Welcome, Sean from Florida, Steelbringer. Thanks for the $5. Rumble rants are what is the lubrication that makes this all happen. And then hello to Studio over on Twitch. Can't believe how fast this was made. This must have been ready a day ahead of time.
What is that? It is camel milk tea.
What's wrong with any of that? What's wrong with that? That could be our culture, guys. That could be our culture. What is culture? See, most of the people who voted in New York City don't even know what culture is. It is the unspoken way of doing things handed down from generation to generation by an entire group of people. So opening a door for a woman, not universal, part of your culture. What makes American culture is that we came from Western Europe and we were 80% Western European. And we took that seed 400 years ago now of Western Europe and we let it sprout and become its own thing, where we mix together Spanish conquistadoric cowboys and the weird Calvinists who started Harvard and the Puritans and the Quakers, and we mixed them all together and we created a unique American identification. And it actually has value. The American culture is one that really loves individual rights, but also is high trust. We trust our neighbor even though we don't know our neighbor. We could leave our door unlocked or give them a key and say, hey, can you go inside and turn off my laundry in an hour, and actually trust the random person. The rest of the world can't do this. The rest of the world will have everything in your house stolen if you did that to them. Almost the entire world is low trust. There are very few high trust societies. There's basically just Western Europe and Japan. And it's valuable. If you matriculate people into it, they can become a part of it. But that matriculation rate, I'm going to use the word, whether it's right or wrong, is not that high. And it's probably considerably lower than it is. So like Vivek Ramaswamy is Indian, but he is 100% American. He has completely come into the culture and become a part of it. But that doesn't mean that we can take 5 million Indians and then still be the same thing. Because anytime you bring in another group that's different and they stay in their original culture and don't become a part of American culture, you're actually just getting conquered. So the Irish came here and they were Catholic. And there was a lot of anti-Catholic sentiment because at the time we were all concerned about the Catholics. And the crazy thing is, it's still a case in the Northeast that it's a problem. Sean from Florida is saying, hey, bud, I want to mention that New York Cityers that voted for Mamdani don't know about the 70s, 80s, and 90s crime waves. Well, they're about to find out. And New York City has not been a pleasant place since COVID. It has been a hellhole, full of crime, full of terrible stabbings since 2020. It's been 5 years of hell there. It's been an unpleasant hellhole. And anybody who's still there, it's on them. Like inside of the city of Manhattan and whichever boroughs have all the crime. This isn't going to substantially change much of it. And yeah, New York City is now a completely separate place from America, and it doesn't share any of the American culture that it used to have. Those hard New Yorkers, they're mostly a dying breed now. They're a minority in their own home. Much like London and Paris, New York City is very much the same way. We've seen the entire culture of New York just be overpopulated by other people. Welcome, Fiery Waco. Welcome to the chat. Yes, Sean from Florida. This is live. And Studio 314, hello. It's nice to see you guys here in the chat tonight. See what other memes we got. Oh, yeah. Who made this person a mayor? This lady did.
This is a friendly reminder for the girls and the gays. If you went out and voted to save democracy today,
Friendly reminder for the girls and the gays. If you went out to save democracy today,
if you're in New York City, New Jersey, Virginia, or California, you deserve a sweet treat, okay? So since these Dutch Bros chocolate milks have been like all over the place, I had to get one. I wanted to make it a little spicy, so I got a peppermint one. I feel like it's gonna be so good. Let's do a taste test and see if my sweet treat lives up to the dream. Also, I should say I don't like milk, so. This is gonna be dangerous. I can definitely taste the milk, but I don't know. It's really fucking good. I don't.
Oh my gosh. When we have to go in to rebuild New York City in 30 years, and it looks like Detroit, we can show all the kids there this video. Like, why is New York City like this, Mommy? Here's the lady. This is her. This is why it's like this. I can't tell you why she's like this. It's a lot of reasons. SSRIs, birth control, some programming at Brown University. I'm sorry, but you did not save democracy. Kind of ended it. And if you were to ask her, why is democracy good? She cannot tell you an answer, because any answer that she gives you would also support why Donald Trump is good. So democracy is just a weird, fun word for her. And I know, like guys, why is democracy good? Democracy is only good if it has positive results. If it doesn't support the freedom of individuals, supports the taxation and murder of other people. And democracy is just a voting system, and it can vote wrong. It can be not a problem for it to vote and be in a worse situation.
Train, inshallah, will be at the next stop in 7 minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, all passengers. You are currently on the J train. Inshallah, will be at the next stop in 7 minutes. Alhamdulillah. Have a good day, and remember, Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.
The funny thing is, Qatar and UAE are actually safe places, and Saudi Arabia are actually safe places. If you steal there, they'll cut off your hand. It would not be bad to actually turn New York City into Dubai. But what we are going to end up with is the worst of both worlds, which is, yes, lots of Muslim people, and none of the benefits of harsh justice system. Like, no harsh justice system. Alex Soros released people on no cash bail. That justice system, plus, calls to prayer and all the rapes and things that come with it. It's open season here in America. I don't blame them for coming here. How liberal women look at the politicians that will make their lives worse. I can't help it. He's so gorgeous. I've got daddy issues and he's perfect. Okay, so how did we get here? Well, it all started with this guy.
Your pension?
You know, I don't look at my pension. It's not as big as yours, so it doesn't
Well,
take as long.
let me give you some. Let me give you some advice.
I don't check it that often.
Let me give you some advice. Look at your pension. You also have investments in Chinese companies. You also have investments outside the United States.
And Governor Romney says he's got a 5-point plan. Governor Romney doesn't have a 5-point plan. He has a 1-point plan. And that plan is to make sure that folks at the top play by a different set of rules.
You'll get your chance in a moment. I'm still speaking.
Well,
And the answer is, I don't believe people
if you're
think that's the
asking me a
case
question,
because
I'm not an
that wasn't a question.
Okay.
That was
Go
a
ahead.
statement. I think I was supposed to get that last answer, but I want to point out that I don't believe.
I don't think so, Candy.
I don't
I
believe.
want to make sure our timekeepers are working
The
here.
timekeepers are all working, and let me tell you that the last part, for the two of you to talk to one another, and it isn't quite as orders as you think. But go ahead and use this 2 minutes any way you'd like to. The question is on the floor.
Well, I think Governor Romney was for an assault weapons ban before he was against it. And he said that the reason he changed his mind was in part because he was seeking the endorsement of the National Rifle Association. So that's on the record.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
I want to make sure we get that for the record because it took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of terror.
Get the transcript.
He did, in fact, sir. So let me call it an act of terror.
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
He did call it an act of terror. It did as well take 2 weeks or so for the whole idea of there being a riot out there about this tape.
Okay, so check out the broken window policy for New York City. There will be a Pooh Fight Festival in Times Square. Yeah, that seems inevitable. I hope you, Fiery Waco, are able to attend and let us know what it's like. So the reason why I bring that up is that feels like a millennium ago, 2012. And in fact, it's been 13 years. I have an 11-year-old, so her entire lifetime plus 2 years ago. And we had two civilized, boring people debating politics, who killed who in Benghazi. You know, we came, he saw, he died. There was lots of evil, there were lots of problems, but there was none of this fiery discourse in communism. We have progressed a very long way. And if you were to go back and talk to those people in that crowd watching those two people debate, said, in 10 years, we will have a communist mayor of New York City we will have an attorney general in Virginia calling for murder of his opponent and still wins. We will have Donald Trump as president, and he will be the same moderate one fighting against the left that goes from Obama and takes several standards of deviations far, far left of Obama until they are literally calling for the craziest things that you can imagine. You tell anybody who supported Obama in 2012, not only is gay marriage going to become a national thing, but they're going to enforce that trans surgeries go forward on kids, that men can dress up like women and go in the women's locker room, that you will be forced to wear masks and take vaccines, that this world is going to go completely upside down, that New York City is just going to become a complete hellscape where billionaires own entire floors from Saudi Arabia, and then people on the ground are dodging knives, where the subway and the city of Friends and Seinfeld becomes Apocalypse Now. And they would all look at you like you're crazy. Like, oh, how can we do that? How is that possible? Obamacare fixes everything in the future, right? Right. Obamacare fixed everything. You know, I don't want to say it was all Obama's fault. A lot of it's George Bush's fault and the war in Iraq, trillions of dollars being spent in the Middle East that we could have been used to, make our country better and help beat Obama in 2008 where he won over this issue. All of these things could be better, but here's where we are today. We're not getting better in the blue cities. We're getting more divided as a country. And that's scary because the right is divided over Nick Fuentes when they should be focused on getting stuff done in DC. And that is the next thing on the list, which is, let me make sure I got a nice, may the Christian God guide my hand against your Roman popery. Okay, I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know what you're talking about. So everyone who's watching this probably already knows, but here's the 30-second summary of old news. Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show. Everybody in, what do you call Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro's side of the spectrum, middle right authoritarian Israel, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Josh Hammer, I don't know who I'm missing, and if I missed you, you're also evil, you're a bad guy. They've decided to go on hardcore attack on Tucker Carlson for having him on a show. Now, Nick Fuentes is an extremely popular kid. He's 27 and he's got millions of followers. Just extremely popular. He says crazy things sometimes about Hitler and Stalin, and on this show with Tucker, he said, "I love Stalin." It's a shock value. It's messed up. Stalin's an evil guy. But the point is, Tucker is a guy on a podcast and is not an elected official. He's not the ambassador or senator or congressman or president. Just a guy on a podcast, exercising his free speech to have on whoever he wants. And on that podcast, I thought he did a great job of balancing Nick Fuentes and making him see some wisdom in some other points of view that Tucker had. And I think that being alone in a silo and saying crazy things with a group of people who follow you can lead to some really evil stuff happening, right? It could spiral out of control. And Fuentes being allowed into the mainstream of Tucker and then having a conversation that I think mellows him out and mellows out the millions of people that follow Nick Fuentes watching Tucker had a very solid positive effect of mellowing out all of those people. Because previously their excuses, Nick's right about everything, but they won't let him on because they know he's right. And they honestly were right. Like Nick's blackballed everywhere. And if my favorite person was blackballed, I'd feel like there's a conspiracy too. By letting him on a mainstream show, like one of the biggest, if not the biggest shows, it takes away that argument completely. Like, oh, Tucker had him on. And then the conversation with Tucker wasn't with some weakling, some nobody like me. It's with one of the most skilled interviewers there is. And it really showed that Nick isn't, needs to develop some wisdom on some things. And I think that that whole podcast was a really positive thing for the world. But it doesn't matter people like Shapiro who just get up on their high horse and attack Tucker, and they're doing exactly what the left was always doing, which is canceling people for platforming them. This is 2020 COVID. You had someone on saying something negative about Dr. Fauci, so we canceled you. You suggested that the virus came from a lab when it did, so we canceled you. This is YouTube and the Biden administration and Facebook going crazy with the ban hammer. And this is not supposed to be the right side where we support freedom of speech. I should support you having a flat earther on your show, or somebody who hates people for this color of their skin, and hopefully you can share the truth with them and change points of view and change people's lives. But in any case, we are on the right. Do not cancel people for freedom of speech violations. And so Josh, or it's not Josh Shapiro, this totally different guy, Ben Shapiro, numbers are in. Your reaction video got 695K views, which is a ton, but Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes had 5.3 million views. And it's not all about the views, but what does this mean? Is that you don't have the monopoly on Republican politics that you once had. The Daily Wire is not as powerful as it once was, and you must consider that if you continue to be divisive like this, that you destroy our ability to focus on the things that matter and to actually change things in government. Otherwise, this is all theater, and it probably is all theater. Like, honestly, to be fair, this whole podcast is probably all theater if we can't accomplish any of our goals. And I don't want it to be. I would like us to be able to work together even when we disagree on, like I don't want to give Israel $1. Ben Shapiro would like to give Israel basically all my dollars. Even with that disagreement, I think I could work with him and do a lot of positive things for this country outside of this one issue. I'd work with Bernie Sanders if we agreed on one issue that we could accomplish something with. So I'm not afraid of going across the aisle. And that means you too, Ben. Just drop the Fuentes issue and focus on the fact that all of Congress is sitting on their freaking hands, and it seems like they're going to lose the midterms in a year, 1 year from today, and then we will be completely out of power and unable to do anything for the rest of the Trump presidency. The clock's ticking real fast. And having a 27-year-old kid on a podcast has nothing to do with any major issue, foreign or domestic. And please don't tell me it does, because I really don't. It really doesn't. Like, really, no voting and no changing of public opinion matters in the next 12 months. Getting our existing congressmen, putting whatever pressure we can on our existing congressmen to actually do stuff is really the only thing that matters. And we should cut spending. We should cut taxes. We should fix Social Security, Medicare, cut food stamps, cut the fraud out of all of this stuff that's happening worldwide, cut foreign aid, fix election integrity, all these issues that really do matter. And you're not going to do it. So yeah, this is a 41-minute video, and I'm not going to sit here and play really any of it. But anyways, that was a long monologue. Here's Steelbringer saying, actually, Ben has told Israelis that they need to be more independent. Well, yeah, great job, Ben. I support that sentiment. I support him being independent. Israel's a nuclear power. I'm not worried about them. They're surrounded by a bunch of people that don't have planes. They're really safe. Like, Israel's super safe. Even Iran, this third world country, can only fire some missiles against a nuclear-powered Israel. So, like, you can only poke the bear up to a certain level before they nuke you. So, I really not worried about that at all. No, criminals need money too. Yeah, you know what? This is the time in the show where I would love to open it up to hear what you want to think. Come to rumble.com/Liberty Tonight. Nelson65, Steelbringer. Come in and ask some questions, change the topics, provide links to things you've seen. I would like to open it up. And in the meantime, I just want to show you that I found this beautiful, what's the right format? Here we go. Ford Liberty Shop added a wheel where you can spin for some holiday cheer. And I think that's me. I think that's AP Ford Liberty shop.com. They put my picture right here. This Chad guy holding the AR-15. That's a dinky suppressor, though. I got a better suppressor than that. My email's required. Guys, anyone who wants to email me, it's brian@piotr.com. Not afraid for you to have my email. We just spin the wheel and see what we get. 10% off an order. That's a win. I'm not going to go do that right now. But we have several of you subscribed to our Whiskey Barrel Aged Coffee. My favorite thing. I love it. Thank you so much for everyone who supports me. I have this Paul Massey shirt, 2028. I really don't think that's going to happen. Lots of reasons why it can't happen, but I love it, and it makes me friends every time I wear it around here in Louisville. And I've also learned from the people here that the way you say Louisville, it seems like you just try to get it all out in one syllable. Louisville. You can't do multiple syllables. But we have the Bourbon Trail here, and a great thing for a drink on an evening is our whiskey glasses. And I also have this Gulf of America tank top. No one has ever commented on it. Like, people don't actually read things, but I feel like they would get a kick out of it if they actually did. So yeah, that's me supporting you guys. And back to Heads Up with Brian. Let's see what people have said in the chat. That's it. Then I'm going to call it for the night. Any last chance? Anyone want to ask anything? Change the topic on what we should do for the evening? Yeah, forecast is blue cities are going to continue to suck, and the National Guard will need to be called in on more of them. This will create conflict in our towns. Those conflicts will be shown on TV. That will be a major focus of campaigning in the midterms. Trump loses his slim majority in the House to the Democrats. And the time is ticking on whatever Donald Trump can do from the federal position that he holds and from his presidential powers to kick illegals out before and do anything else that he can do by executive order before time runs out. And there's a to be determined what the country looks like for 2028. With J.D. Vance probably against some communist. Okay. Dirty Hippie checking in. Welcome, Drew Van Runkle. I am so happy to have you. If you're a dirty hippie, where are you from? Are the National Guard coming to Louisville? I don't know. I don't think that it's going in quick succession like that. I think that we were promised Memphis, and I haven't seen that yet. We were promised Portland, and I haven't seen that yet. So I hope that we start seeing no more rookie numbers. We get some big numbers coming up soon. I actually grew up in Southern California. So I've been all over California, and the biggest hippie place I've ever been is UC Santa Cruz. Tell me if you think that there's a bigger hippie place in the country. But UC Santa Cruz is drum circles, people perpetually high, just pure hippies, white people with dreads. Columbus, Ohio. I've never seen hippies in Columbus, Ohio, but now I'm very intrigued. I should go there next and look for the hippies. Anyways, I've hit everything that I had to hit for the evening. I thank you all for joining. I will see you next week, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. It's been great. This is Liberty Tonight. Come to forwardlibernetwork.com. Chat with me there all week. And